860 Obama regulations axed, 179 came from a secret list, says Mick Mulvaney. Hello folks, my name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times, and today we have a news story. This one comes courtesy of the Washington Times, and it says that White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney accused the Obama administration Thursday of keeping a secret list of proposed regulations during Mr. Obama's 8-year regulatory onslaught against businesses, and also touted President Trump's rollback of more than 800 Obama-era rules and proposals. Of the 860 rules or proposed rules that the Trump administration has killed, 179 came from what he called Mr. Obama's secret list. As President Trump's aides combed through the books, they found pending proposals that range from rules on hardwood plywood research to new requirements for contamination control of cattle slaughter operations. Mick Mulvaney said, quote, "They had a bunch of things that they wanted to regulate." He said this about the Obama administration's first term, and he went on to say, quote, "They just didn't want to tell you about it. They thought that it would be bad for their re-election prospects in 2012, so they created a secret list of regs that they weren't going to disclose to you, but we are going to disclose it." It says when President Trump's officials threatened to disclose this list, Mr. Mulvaney said bureaucrats of various cabinet agencies came up with those 860 things that we got rid of. He said, he went on to say, quote, "There'll be no more of that," said the Office of Management and Budget Director. "We will not have a secret list. We will not have a hidden list of regulations that we're thinking about doing, but we're not going to tell you about. That's going to end effective immediately. In fact, it already has ended. It already has ended, folks." Kay Soystein, who headed Mr. Obama's Office of Regulatory Affairs in his first term, did not respond for a request of comment. Of course, he's not going to do it, right? They not only did they have a whole bunch of regulations hidden from everyone because they knew that they were going to roll them out in their second term, but Obama didn't get enough time to roll these things out. Okay, now that they have been found out, now that President Trump is looking into it, now it's starting to come out, and it's going to be from every aspect of government, folks. Not only regulation. They're going to notice that Obama was giving money to so-and-so behind everyone's back. They were regulating this, they were regulating that. But now that President Trump is going through the whole thing with a fine-tooth comb, a lot of this stuff is starting to come out. All right. It says, even as the Trump administration was accusing its predecessor of hidden agenda, a government watchdog group, it says, faulted the Trump White House Thursday for acting with unprecedented secrecy for his first 6 months. So the watchdog group found out that the the Trump administration is going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So they try to, go into damage control and be like, oh, well, the Trump administration is so secretive. We don't know what's going on, trying to get heat off of the Obama administration is basically what they were doing. So it goes on to say that they said, quote, "Our conclusion on the Trump administration's record of open government in the at least 6 months is unacceptable. This is a secretive administration, allergic to transparency, ethically compromised, and hostile to the essential role that journalism plays in a democracy." So that is what a, quote, Sunlight Foundation, that's the, quote unquote, watchdog group that nobody's heard of. The watchdog group that is a bunch of nobodies running it. But they're just trying to get the heat off of the Obama administration by saying this about the Trump administration. Why? Because they know that the prostitutes are going to jump on this quicker than you can possibly think. And the whole thing with the 179 secret regulations will never see the day of light in what's it called? The light of day in mainstream media and on TV and stuff. It is never going to come out, right? It's never going to come out at all. But guess what? We're reporting on this. The Washington Times is reporting on this So at least it's going out there, and it's just a matter of you folks, the ones that are listening, the ones that are reading, to put it out there, share it on social media, make sure it gets out there as much as possible. So that way the mainstream media will have no choice but to cover it. All right. So it says, in President Trump's first 6 months in office, he has eliminated 16 major regulations that has cost businesses at least $100 million per year each. And it says he has introduced only one major regulation pertaining to mercury in wastewater. It says at the White House event of Showcase Advances U.S. Pharmaceutical Packaging, President Trump said that the drug industry and patients will soon benefit from further cutting of regulations at the Food and Drug Administration. They said, quote, amazing things are going to happen there. I think we're going to be announcing some of them over the next 2 months. That's what the president said. He went on to say, quote, we're going to be streamlining, as we have in other industries, regulations so that advancements can reach patients quickly. So what he's saying is that these regulations are stagnating everything. They're holding back a lot that could help patients in the long run, but they can't get to those patients because of these Obama era regulations. Okay, so they're going to streamline them. They're going to get them faster. They're going to get it to the patient faster and try to save as many lives as possible. It says a recent study by a conservative American Action Forum Fund that Mr. Trump has released 8% of the historical average of new rules issued by President Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton combined. It says, holding up a stack of paper, Obama regulations with both hands, Mr. Mulvaney challenged reporters at a White House that said, were you healthy and safe before this came out? Yes. And will you be healthy and safe once it's gone? And the answer is yes. Okay, you were healthy before all of these stupid regulations came in. Now you're going to be healthy after these regulations are completely gone. Okay? It says cutting regulations is a pillar of Mr. Trump's economic program as he seeks to rerun the U.S. economy to annual growth of 3% or more, a goal that hasn't been reached in over 10 years. Of course, because we had Obama in office, like we would have never seen a growth of anything under the Obama administration. It's as easy as that. It says Trump officials have said that the Obama administration introduced new rules in the last 6 months of 2016 that would have imposed a $6.8 billion in annual cost to the economy, while the new rules during Mr. Trump's 5 months have imposed no cost. Mick Mulvaney said, we had zero. He said that the previous administration often fudged the numbers when it proposed regulation. Fudged the numbers, I guess. He went on to say, quote, they either overstated the benefit or understated the cost. When Mr. Trump took office, he issued 2-for-1 directive to set the tone for this war on regulation. For every new proposed regulation, there's 2 others that will be cut. Okay, so remember what he said during the election. Remember what he said during the rallies. For every one regulation, 2 old regulations that are no longer needed will be cut. That's what he had been saying. That's what he proposed. And that's the reason why he got elected. Okay, so it says that the regulatory rollback has provided President Trump with one of his smoothest areas of cooperation in congressional Republicans who aided the push early in his term by deploying a seldom used Congressional Review Act to repeal Obama-era rules. David Perdue, Georgia Republican, said, quote, we've seen the largest regulatory rollback since Ronald Reagan, and there's much more to come. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are in favor of this. Okay, in favor of cutting all these regulations, not only to help businesses, to help patients, to help people. Mom and pops can't survive sometimes because of regulations. A lot of these companies, a lot of these manufacturing companies that left the United States left because there's way too many regulations that were either stagnating or damaging business. That's the reason why they went overseas. That's one of the reasons they went overseas, and one of the reasons why they won't come back. But now that President Trump has said, you know what, if I reduce these regulations, If I help you make more money, will you come back? Will you hire American? Will you make in the United States? And they said, yeah. It's as easy as that. It's like, yes, we will come back if regulations go away, because those hurt business more than help. Okay. So it says that among President Trump's future easings of regulation, the Interior Department plans to reduce paperwork for outdoorsmen and fish restoration programs, and Labor Department is planning to streamline the approval process for new apprenticeship programs. Mr. Mulvaney said that the actions are not only headlining grabbing moves, but the impact of cutting the tape improves the business climate and the lives of average Americans. Do you guys imagine if all of the companies that left, all right, all of the manufacturing companies left, come back to the United States, all right, creates thousands, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jobs. Let's say it creates millions of jobs. What would happen to this country? Not only would people go back to work, people would be fine enough to start spending again. And what happens when more money gets pushed into the economy gets better. Okay. Now it would mean that, there will be more cars on the road, and you wouldn't probably won't able to get a parking spot at a store. But that's the price to pay for having a good economy in the country. It would help out everybody, folks. People need to get back to work. People want to go back to work. Opening up new businesses, opening up new manufacturing plants and stuff like that is going to help a lot of cities around the country. All right. So it says that Mr. Mulvaney said that most of these actions it says that the Conservative Competitiveness Enterprise Institute estimated that this week the red tape will be cut by Mr. Trump this year on a significant scale. The group said that under Obama, typically 97,000 pages were printed annually in Federal Register, a level that is likely to be cut to by a third under President Trump. Regulatory analysis Clyde Wayne Cruz at CEI said that this week that regulatory compliance cost about $2 trillion annually, and that some regulations that he calls regulatory dark matter are imposed without adequate public review. So a lot of these regulations are just thrown in there, right? They're going to be enforced, but they have no backing. They don't know if the regulations that they impose is even true or not. Why? Because they won't do research. They'll just impose it and uphold it in case something like that happens, but they don't actually do research into that to see if it's actually effective for us to regulate a certain thing. It has been happening over and over and over again throughout the Obama administration. Okay, and now we know that there was a secret list of 179 proposed regulations that didn't go through. Why? Because Obama ran out of time. If Hillary Clinton would have gone to become the president, knock on wood, all of these regulations would have gone through. Even more regulations would have been put on top of those regulations, and our country would be in turmoil, in literal turmoil. Okay? So Mick Mulvaney is doing an awesome job. Okay, they couldn't have picked a better person to run the White House budget, because he knows what he's doing. And not only does he know what he's doing, he's extremely smart at what he does. Okay, he knows it like the back of his hand. It's insane. Like when you watch one of his press briefings that he had like a couple now, probably like 3 or 4. He knows exactly what he's talking about. Okay, nobody can get him a gotcha question. Nobody can go up against him because they don't know what he's talking about most of the time. And he knows exactly what he's talking about, what he's going to do, what the president wants, and he's doing exactly what the president is telling him to do. And he does an awesome job executing it. So we applaud Mr. Mulvaney for finding those 179 regulations on the secret list. And we also applaud President Trump for cutting back on those regulations, so that way businesses can grow. That way the FDA isn't so choking all these companies trying to make new medications for people to try to help them out. And sometimes they can't get them through because of such regulations. Hopefully, the less regulations there is in the FDA, the better it would be on the long run. There is some side effects, just like anything, but at the same time, hopefully it will get better from here, especially with less regulations, more businesses coming back, and the economy getting better. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below, folks. Should they go through everything else? I know 100% that a secret list of regulations is not the only thing that Obama did that was shady or that was probably even illegal. Okay, Obama, extremely crooked. The Democrats, extremely crooked. They hate America. They hate the United States. They hate everything that has to do with this country. Okay, so like I said, let us know what you guys think about this. And if you guys missed any of our previous videos, they should be coming up on your screen. If you guys missed the President Trump speaking earlier, with the pharmaceutical thing, it should be coming up on your screen, and also any other videos you might have missed. Also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. If you guys want to get everything in one place, all of the articles you write, all of the videos we make, all of the streams that we stream, or the stream that are coming up, all of that stuff could be sent to your inbox if you guys go to goldenstatetimes.com and sign up to our newsletter. We'll be sending it to you every other day, packed full of news and streams and future streams and special information and updates and all that stuff all in one place starting this Monday. So make sure you guys sign up at goldenstatetimes.com, and I'll see you guys next time. My name is Gent. Peace.